From left to right, running in the Ocotillo District, are Norma Alvarez, Bud Zomak, Jamie Aldama, Michael Hernandez. Running in the Barrow District, John Benjamin, Michael Patino, Bart Turner, Randy Miller. Running in the Troya District, Lauren Tomachoff, Gary Deerdorf, Van DiCarlo, Robert Petrone. Candidates will have 1 minute to respond to the question. Linda, our second vice president and timekeeper today, will give a 15-second reminder holding up the yellow card. Candidates, please stop when you see the red card. Remember, if you're in mid-sentence, we'll try to let you finish, and then remember you have a closing statement that you can finish up any thoughts that you may have. Audience, please hold all of your applause until the end of the forum, as it takes up time, and we want to use all of our time for questions. We will begin the 1-minute opening statements with Mrs. Alvarez, and ladies and gentlemen, you will be passing the mic. Mrs. Alvarez, you may begin.
First of all, I want to thank the Glendale Women's Club for providing this opportunity to us to tell you why we're running and what changes or concerns we have for the Ocotillo District. I have lived in this district for all my life. I'm 68 years old, so I knew Glendale when it was so comfortable. We slept with doors open. We could walk anywhere. It was safe. It was a nice place to live. And I know that we should go forward, but I'd like to go forward, but still bring the old Glendale back. I always said that I was going to conserve and protect taxpayers' money. And I mean that. We need to be very transparent to community, and I continue with the same goal.
Thank you, Ms. Alvarez. Bud Zomak.
Good morning. Thank you to the Women's Club for hosting this. My name is Bud Zomak, and I'm running for City Council for Ocotillo District. I am the candidate that wants to boast about Glendale. Using the acronym BOAST, I want to be the candidate that brings business to the district and to the city. I want to remove barriers and issues that stop business from coming in. I want to look for opportunities that are coming in, using the O within BOAST, looking for those opportunities that are coming in, meaning opportunities to find ways to renegotiate things, ways to talk with each other. I want to be the A. I want to work with the legislature to ensure that our schools have the academics that are needed to have the businesses that come into this area. Using the S in the BOAST, I want to be the person who finally puts the public safety issue to rest and ensure those folks are funded so that they're not on the issue every single time. And using the T, I want to work with the transportation and tourism folks to bring more business to the downtown. I am the candidate that wants to boast about Glendale.
Thank you. Mr. Aldama.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Women's Club, for hosting this event this morning. My name is Jamie Aldama, and I'm a candidate for City Council for City of Glendale. I have lived in Glendale for 45 years and a resident of Ocotillo District for 35 years. Sometime in 2010, the City of Glendale redistricted the Ocotillo District. Because I'm passionate about the community and the issues, my family and I moved back to Ocotillo, where I intend on remaining. I'm married to my wife, Monica, of 26 years. Together we have 3 adult children and 4 grandchildren. I currently serve our community as a governing school board member for the Glendale Elementary School District. I also serve as vice chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission for City of Glendale. Excuse me. My past service to the citizens of Glendale include being vice chairman of the Parks and Recreation Commission and the Mayors and Waters Sewer Task Force. I sit on the board of directors of the West Valley Foundation. I'm a graduate of the Hispanic Leadership Institute, where I learned to be a diverse servant leader to our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Excuse me, thank you, Mr. Aldama. Mr. Hernandez, and folks, remember to bring that up to your mouth just a little bit. Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Women's Club, for holding this, and citizens for coming. My name is Michael Hernandez. I'm a native son of 54 years to Glendale. I have a master's degree in education counseling, a BSW in social work, and attended GCC. 25 years law enforcement, 2 years with the city of Glendale, the police department. I worked in the Airport Commission, been married for 34 years, blessed with 4 sons. I'm also wanting to work with the businesses to bring something to downtown Glendale. Our council and our leaders need to understand that downtown Glendale is the vital. Need to have a vibrant city. And I'll work with education too, teaching the Common Core standards and critical thinking and problem solving. And working with business is the key. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representing or running in the Barrow District, Mr. Benjamin.
Thank you, Grace, for everything that you do and your organization does for the community. I'm John Benjamin, and I'm going to be your next Barrow District representative to the City of Glendale. And with that, I am going to help focus the council on neighborhoods, infrastructure, and get us out of the sports business as much as we possibly can. I feel that Glendale is a neighborhood, a bedroom community, not a sports mecca. I want to bring us back to being that way in the most reasonable, fiscal, responsible way that we possibly can. We need to focus the budget on us citizens, residents that live here, not on outside influences by major sports and Native Americans. Thank you. I'm John Benjamin.
Thank you very much. Mr. Patino.
First and foremost, thank you to the Women's Club. It's probably the toughest thing for me is probably talking less than a minute, but I will do my very best, I promise. I want to say I'm Michael Patino. I'm running for the Barrow District in Glendale, born and raised here in Arizona. Sat on the city council from 99 to 2003 in the city of Peoria. Moved to Glendale in 2005. I'm very much looking forward to getting back to work on government. I do have an independent business with insurance, and I've been a successful business owner since 1997. I am looking forward to working on many different issues, but most importantly, working with the community, being more accessible to the community, but also addressing the issues not only within our district, but within the whole entire city of Glendale. I wish all my candidates best of luck, and again, once again, thank you to the Glendale Women's Club.
Thank you very much. Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Grace, and thank you to the ladies of the Women's Club for not only this forum this year, but all of the years that you've been doing these candidate forums since I was a little kid. It's a very important service along with all of the others that you do for us, and we do appreciate it. My name is Bart Turner, and I am a candidate in the Barrow District. I'm a Glendale native. I went to Melvin East Science School, Apollo High School, and Northern Arizona University, where I studied economics and business management. 10 years ago, I decided to further my education, so I applied to Harvard University. I got accepted, and I earned a master's degree in public administration there. Now, I have over 40 years of leadership experience in Glendale civic organizations, things like being president of the Glendale Arts Council, the Glendale Historical Society, the West Valley Child Crisis Center. I'm even a past chairman of the Glendale Parks and Recreation Commission. I think that speaks to my commitment to Glendale and to its future. I invite you to go to my website, bartknowsglendale.com. You can learn all of the positions on my issues, more about my background. I appreciate your interest here today, and I would like to have your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller, very much.
My name's Randy Miller, and I speak really loud, apparently. There's really no perfect time to run for council. I wanted to run for council in 2002, and got away from me. I had a young business. I wanted to do it again in 2006, and I wanted to do it several times, and I just never stood up and took the plunge. Now I am. I wonder today, had I run for council and been successful 10 years ago, where the city of Glendale might be, and I have no choice but to look back on that and decide that during a very critical time of Glendale's growth, I was willing to stand aside and let somebody else make those decisions for me. I'm no longer willing to stand aside. I really want to be your Glendale council person, and I really want to make those decisions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representing the Choya, Lauren Tomachoff.
Good morning, and thank you for hosting this morning. I really appreciate it. My name is Lauren Tomachoff. I'm a candidate in the Cholla District, basically the Arrowhead area of Glendale. I'm going to start with why I decided to run for city council. That's the question I'm asked most often. I'm a realtor, and last summer I had a well-qualified home buyer, worked for a company that he was the West Side district manager, could have chosen any city on the west side of the valley to purchase a home. And when we sat down to go over his wish list of what he wanted, one of the first things he told me was, "I won't buy a home in Glendale." And I said, "Why wouldn't you buy a home in Glendale?" He said, "Because Glendale's about to give $225 million to a hockey team, and if I don't move there, it's not my problem." And I thought then, I really should be paying more attention to what's going on in my city where I live and where I work. I'm a homeowner. And I started going sporadically to the city council meetings. In January, when the vice mayor said that the sunset clause is only put into the temporary sales tax and make it more palatable to voters, I decided that I would pick up my packet. I feel like I have the integrity, I keep my promises, and I tell the truth. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Deerdorf?
Yes, I too thank you for allowing us to come before you today. I am a financial advisor by occupation. I am married. I've been married for 43 years to my lovely wife, who I'm privileged to have here with me today. I am a certified financial planner, a accredited investment fiduciary, as well as many other certifications. The reason I mention that is that I have the qualifications, the certifications, to handle complex financial instruments. And as you are all well aware, the city of Glendale is in need of someone who has those qualifications. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. DiCarlo?
Hello, I'm Van DiCarlo, and 60 seconds is not a lot of time, so I brought with me today about 15 copies, an extended version of these remarks. I'll have them on the back there if anybody's interested in picking them up. I've lived in Glendale for 14 years now. I'm married to my wife 42 years. We have 2 children. As a law enforcement officer in the Chicago suburbs, I spent my entire career, 30 years, protecting the lives, property, and the rights of citizens just like yourself. I did it not knowing them, but I did it with honor and integrity. I was never investigated by internal affairs, never suspended from duty without pay, and never successfully sued. I will bring that same level of intensity, integrity, and commitment to this city council to try and move this city forward as best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Patrone?
Thank you, and thank you to the ladies of the Women's Club and interested attendees. Appreciate you being here. My name is Robert Patrone, candidate for the Cholla District. I lived in Cholla for 40 years. I volunteered for boards and commissions for the city of Glendale for the past 25 years. I was always felt that it was an honor to be asked to do so and a privilege to be allowed to. I'm very bullish on Glendale. I love it very, very much. I'm one of those guys that'll attend Glendale Glitters about 4 times. And my wife, Beverly, whom I've been married to for 38 years, runs the little romance writers booth at a chocolate affair. So we're Glendalians and we're Choyans, and I'm very, very committed to this community, and I'm very, very bullish on our city. I believe we have growth capabilities, and I believe in an optimistic way
Thank you, Mr.
we can grow our way out of this problem.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrone. Thank you, candidates, for your opening statements. We will begin the questions now, and we will, I just need to remind you that if you have any extra thoughts, maybe you do have a closing statement at the end, and you will have 1 minute. First question. This will be for all districts, all candidates. What specific ideas set you apart from the other candidates running in your district? And we're going to start with Mrs. Alvarez. Mrs. Alvarez. Thank you. Would you like me to repeat the question? What specific ideas set you apart from the other candidates running in your district?
Services to Glendale are very important to me. How we spend our money, and I'm saying yours and I as I'm a resident, we have to spend it very wisely. In the past, we haven't done that.
Thank you. Mr. Zoma?
Thank you. I think what sets me apart, if I was to look at all of it, is I'm the candidate who understands that you have to get dirty sometimes to make change. I'm the candidate who's willing to go in, work around the community, putting up flyers, putting up ribbons in the downtown for cancer awareness, going around and carrying food boxes for Hope for Hunger. I'm the candidate to get involved, but I'm also the candidate to go into business meetings and create quick relationships, form partnerships, and work with people trying to find common ground. This council appears at this point to be very, very dysfunctional. I'm the candidate who can be part of that, bringing together and finding common ground to move the city forward versus continuing to cause divisions. We can no longer afford to look backwards. What we did, the mistakes we made are finished. We need to look forward the future of Glendale.
Thank you very much. Mr. O'Donnell?
Oh, I got one here. We can pass that? Not working. Here you go. Let me have the mic. Hello, testing. Thank you so much. I'm a candidate and will be a city council member that will be collaborative. Our city council members on that dais need to be more collaborative. We need to be more representative to our community and to the issues. We need not to be fighting against each other in public. If there's other means to do that then, but not in public. I will be a representative of our community and our business owners. I visited many business owners while campaigning and still do, and I'll bring that balance to all of those business owners. I want to work collaboratively with our mayor and our council members and work on the issues. But again, simply representation will set me apart from other candidates. I will be in your yards, I will be in your home if you invite me, and we'll talk about those concerns and I'll convey those concerns. I'm passionate about Glendale and Glendale's issues, and I'll fight feverishly to bring those to the city council and to the appropriate departments to make sure that we take care of those concerns. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hernandez?
I'm the person that walks around, talks to people, very direct, gets to the point, follows up. I have plans to bring businesses down to downtown Glendale. Small plans, but they're plans. Possible Harkins right there between 57th to 56, and this empty lot that's been there for over 5 years, not providing the city any taxes, just sitting there. Why can't we work with Harkins and bring a theater there, and that'll bring actual growth and persons down to the city of Glendale, because it's dead here on the weeknights. And that'll give a chance for our young kids to get jobs. Also, integrity, honesty, I bring that. I've never been sued, so. And I'm direct, to the point. The people are paying taxes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you very much. Mr. Benjamin, and folks, remember to bring the microphone up so we can all hear you.
Thank you. What sets me apart from the other candidates for Barrel District is that I oppose the casino. I think that the land there could be still developed as a retail attraction rather than a casino. The other thing I believe that makes me different from the other candidates running for the Barrel District is I'm more internally focused. I want to put back on the priority list for city government the residents and the people that live here in our communities and our infrastructure that improve and make our lives better every day. And along with that, the city services that we all deserve to have from them. Thank you. I'm John Benjamin.
Thank you. Mr. Patino?
All right, would you mind just repeating that question one more time?
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you. What specific ideas set you apart from the other candidates running in your district?
I would say what sets me apart from my other candidate, the other candidates, is that I have experience. I understand how to start the job the first day. And it is a training process. It will take time to pick up, learn. There's a lot of problems in Glendale. There's no surprise. We all know that. But what's very important is that we go in there, work with the current council and the mayor, also be able to reach out to the previous council because she understands the issues that have gone through Beryl through the last 2 terms of her term. Vitally, I bring to the table is the communication skills, to be able to communicate with the community and with the council and with the mayor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Turner?
Thank you. Now, what sets me apart from the other candidates, fine men though they may be, is first my experience, as I mentioned before, the extensive experience I have in Glendale organizations, but I also have a wide range of experience valley-wide and statewide. Organizations like the Fiscal Accountability and Reform Efforts Committee. I'm a previous executive director and past president of the Valley Citizens League, all of which have given me connections and experience in the larger arena, in addition to everything I've done in Glendale. Additionally, my education. I think you'll all agree that my studies in economics, in government, and in public administration are definitely on point to the attributes that you would look for in a representative, particularly in times like these here in Glendale. Another area in which I think I distinguish myself from the other candidates is my background in ethics and ethics training. As a director of the Citizens League, I fought for a ban on gifts from lobbyists to elected officials. I defended open meeting laws. I fought for ethics training for government officials, and I think that's something we sorely need here at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Thank you. What sets me apart from everyone else? I'll just tell you that I worked with Pastor John Torres on a committee recently, the Community Development Advisory Committee, and we have a city staff person that would guide us, would teach us what we needed to know. And we decided that the money that we received this year should go to Glendale, and we fought with city staff, and we were told not to do things. And yet we disagreed with that opinion, and we made sure that every bit of the $2 million that we were handed was given to charities and nonprofit and low-income groups inside the city of Glendale. I think that what sets me apart is I'm willing not to accept what the staff is going to tell me, and only what the staff is going to tell me. I plan on looking up beyond that and coming up with viable solutions to keep our city moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tomachoff?
I'd just like to clarify, the question was ideas, not experience, is that right? What ideas set you apart?
The question was, what specific ideas set
Thank
you
you.
apart from the other candidates
Thank you.
running in your district?
Okay. Ideas. Glendale has an extensive real estate portfolio. Glendale owns 140 properties and facilities. We are in a position where we need to take a good look, and it's been requested in workshops, previous workshops, to find out what the debt, what the structure is of all of these properties and facilities that Glendale owns. Some of them are substantial pieces of property that could definitely help reduce some of the debt burden. We are in a position where we need to, and that's where I feel like my experience as in real estate and in banking before that, to understand, look at a financial statement, look at a loan application, understand what is a good financial decision, what is not a good financial decision. We need to look at everything, put it all on the table, and figure out one problem at a time, a solution to get us on the right track so we can attract new businesses to Glendale and increase our revenue. Thank you.
Mr. Deerdorf?
Yes, I'm the candidate that has the credentials to understand the complex issues dealing with financial contracts and the ethics involved in negotiating those contracts. I work to bring the council together. The breeze is blowing my notes. To operate in a professional, orderly, and transparent manner to accomplish the goals of the city. To fully analyze issues before us, to act in an unbiased manner, and to recommend action. To be sure your concerns are respected in all matters that come before the council. To make enhancing our quality of life my highest priority. To assist in developing new ways to deal with negative fiscal issues. I am the right person at the right time.
Thank you. Mr. DiCarlo?
There are 3 main issues that I feel are very important to the city of Glendale right now. Number 1 is public safety. I'm a retired police officer. Public safety, police and fire, because of the nature of the service they provide, is number 1 priority with me. Okay, that sets me apart right there. The second thing is transparency. I believe the city of Glendale carries on way too much business in executive sessions. It's not up in front of the public so we can know what's happening, ask questions, and understand what the thoughts are of our councilmen. As a matter of fact, our councilmen are prevented from discussing with the constituency anything and any information that they receive in an executive session. That's the fault of the open meetings law, and I think we need a little bit of work in that area. Okay, I got 15 seconds. The third thing is the solvency of the city. I make no bones about it. I favor selling assets to get out from underneath the debt that we have. Our debt is absolutely eviscerating our general fund, and we
Thank
need to
you.
get out from
Thank you,
underneath
Mr.
that.
DiCarlo.
Not kick it down the road, get out from underneath it.
Mr. Petrone?
My idea that I think might set me apart from my fellow candidates is, goes back to my experience in economic development for the city. I spent 4 years on that board and that commission, and I met a lot of people with a lot of interest in developing in Glendale. We have the ability, we have the sports and entertainment district. My focus would be specifically to engage and engineer a plan that we could give to our economic development department and go out and really be proactive in bringing in new business, because I believe we can grow our way out of our economic situation. Certainly we're going to have better oversight and perhaps work a few more deals. But I think looking forward to Glendale and looking to the areas where the best prospects for growth would be keynote of my campaign.
Thank you very much, Mr. Petrone. Thank you, all candidates. Next question. And we will begin this question with Mr. Zomak. As Glendale prepares to host its second Super Bowl, what ideas do you have to capitalize on this huge event?
The Super Bowl coming to Glendale actually comes, if you don't know, is in 191 days and a little less than 13 hours. We'll be in Glendale. Now, what we've heard about the Super Bowl is that Glendale lost. We lost all kinds of revenue opportunities, but if you talk to our hoteliers, I wonder if they think they've lost. They're booked. What we need to do and the ideas we need to do are find ways to bring outside venues, maybe not the giant mega things, but the venues that we can handle into Glendale. When that TV turns on, all of those parties in Scottsdale, all of those pre-events in those other cities, the day that Super Bowl turns on and 111 million viewers watch the TV, the first thing you're going to hear is "Welcome from Glendale, Arizona." The party is in our house, not Scottsdale.
Thank you very much. The Super Bowl is coming, and whether we like it or not, and I do enjoy the Super Bowl being here. First of all, why don't we engage our business owners? Let's ask them what are their thoughts of bringing more business to Glendale. Let's get a committee together of local businesses and say, what are your ideas? How can we better business for you in local Glendale? Let's partnership with City of Phoenix and neighboring cities. How can they benefit us? We're the one hosting it. We're the one spending the money. Everybody else is benefiting from that. So let's partnership with City of Phoenix, City of Avondale, and City of Peoria, and let's get more events to downtown Glendale that our local businesses and City of Glendale are the benefactors for. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would also work with the other cities, partnership with them, bring some venues down to the downtown Glendale. Also, but you forget these big companies are coming. Let's reach out to them to give some nonprofit funding for the city of Glendale, the residents. We should be having football fields built in each district for youth to participate in, not just a park that's not being watered and it's all dirt. We should be sponsoring the Special Olympics. Those are the things that we need to reach out to these big companies to provide for the city of Glendale. I think we already lost. Phoenix is having quite a big venue. We just need to reach out and get some venues that we can afford and that the business can afford and get some Special Olympics, football fields for the kids. Thank you.
Mr. Benjamin?
Could we repeat the question again?
I will.
Thank you.
As Glendale prepares to host its second Super Bowl, what ideas do you have to capitalize on this huge event?
I think what we need to do is develop more business opportunities here in Glendale. we don't need to have the NFL experience. We can have the Glendale experience. We can use adjacent property to the stadium and have our own party. We can find businesses to sponsor that and come in and have something similar to the NFL experience, but not call it the NFL experience, to help keep people here on the west side close to the stadium for that event. There's, the Super Bowl doesn't make or break our community. I still feel we need to focus on our day in, day out. It's an opportunity. There's many different things, and I'm open to all kinds of suggestions from anybody to help make our city better and get us.
Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Mr. Patino.
All right. I think what's important, and I think what we need to realize is City of Glendale has the opportunity for the NFL experience. We have the opportunity in the future to continue to get Super Bowls here. What's important is the City of Glendale ends up picking up the tab, pays all the police, fire services. We have a large bill at the end of the day. But a lot of the cities in the state of Arizona here in Maricopa County benefit from this event. So I think the next time around, I think we need to go to, as the City of Glendale, to the other cities and let them know, we will put in a bid for the Super Bowl, but we want your financial participation in this event because it's costing us too much money and it's not profitable. So that's what I would bring to the table to make it more profitable so that the City of Glendale can make more revenue, more money, is obligate the other cities to help financially support and pick up some of the bill for our expenses here.
Thank you. Mr. Turner?
Thank you. 3 quick ideas of ways that we could capitalize on the Super Bowl coming to town. One is, they haven't announced their headliner yet, but we know they'll have one that entertains for a grand total of about 12 minutes at halftime. But perhaps we could approach that headliner about holding a concert here in Glendale, perhaps at the Coyotes Arena, either before or after the Super Bowl, in a way to bring some local spirit to what's going on, and perhaps to get some use out of that facility and turn an extra dollar our direction. Another possibility is with our Coyotes, or with our Camelback Ranch Spring Training Facility. What about a great tailgate party, game day, where regular citizens who obviously aren't going to be able to afford that Super Bowl ticket can come and have a big tailgate party out there, maybe with big screen TVs, food trucks, and whatnot. We have the parking, we have the restroom facilities and all of that. The other thing would be to promote Glendale's downtown dining district, encourage people to park in our parking garage here, eat their meals before or after the game in downtown Glendale, and perhaps even shuttle bus them to the stadium so they don't have to deal with all that traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
Hardest part about being this far down the table is most of your ideas have been spoken. I do agree with Bart. I was kind of going to ask the question, is jobbing.com arena missing? I mean, we can use that to do an event in. We've got 40 acres sitting off of Zanyero, right next to Cabela's. I don't propose that we spend a lot of money building that up for a one-day event, but what I do say is, if we're going to go out and develop that piece of land, why don't we develop it in a way we can use it for those events as well as use it down the road for something that promotes the City of Glendale's interests. I'm not going to use my whole minute because you know what? These guys have got a lot of great ideas, and most of them I had as well. So, Lauren.
Ms. Tomachoff?
Thank you. I think the Super Bowl still is a wonderful opportunity for Glendale. The Super Bowl is one of the, if not the biggest, one of the biggest corporate events in the entire country of the entire year. We have a great opportunity to put together a coalition. I believe it's also a council person's responsibility as a body to promote Glendale to these corporate, very big companies that are going to be coming into town as a place to possibly relocate their business. There are many, many businesses leaving California right now, lots of them going to Texas, but they're looking for some place that is a better place to grow their business, more a tax-friendly state. Arizona is much more tax-friendly than California is. This is an opportunity for us to put together a coalition of people to go meet with these corporate entities coming into town for the Super Bowl and pitch Glendale as a wonderful place to live. Thank you.
Mr. Deerdorf?
Yes, thank you. I think the greatest asset we have is right here, our people. And we need to get excited about the fact that the state chose to locate that wonderful facility within our sports area. Just a fantastic opportunity. We, as I would agree, as others have already stated, that we need to promote this within the businesses that are there, but all the businesses and all the people within the community. If somebody stops in a grocery store and you're in that grocery store, your attitude will be shown. And as we just learned on the news, was it yesterday, that Louisiana is the happiest place? Well, why don't we make Glendale the happiest place? That's our responsibility. I think promoting the businesses is the best thing we can do. It's not a one-day event. People come in ahead of time and they stay for a while. So we have Cabela's, which is also a huge attraction. We should help them promote, as others have said, form a coalition with these businesses and let's get it done.
Mr. DiCarlo?
Well, Robert and I are really sitting here scratching our heads being on the end of this row. He was right. Without reiterating any of the other ideas that were presented up here, I think we can do a little bit better job of marketing Glendale businesses and Glendale amenities to the people that are coming in for the Super Bowl. We have an airport that they can land at that is literally a stone's throw from the stadium and things of that nature. So without reiterating everything that they've already said, that's it. I think we can market ourselves better. The other thing is, I think in the future, if we decide to put another bid in on one of these Super Bowls, this is a regional event, okay? The entire region benefits from the Super Bowl being here, and I think the entire region needs to share in the costs. The part of the thing that makes the Super Bowl so unattractive for the city of Glendale is that everybody else gets to share in the benefits of it, and we get the bill for it. That's not acceptable. We need to do a better job of that preemptively, even before we get to this point.
Mr. Petrone?
I'd like to remind everybody that about a year or so ago, a year and a half, a couple years ago, when we sought the Super Bowl, this legislature, our state legislature said, hey, great idea, Glendale. Here's $1 million. Go out and get it. Well, we got it, and we came back and we said, you know, we looked at our costs. It's going to run us a couple $1 million in security costs. I wonder if you guys down at the state legislature are going to contribute on that. And instead of getting what I would consider a polite response, our city was criticized by Speaker Tobin for being people that aren't very capable of watching their coffers and never should have got themselves in this position in the first place. Well, they did send $1 million to us and asked us, they wanted to be along then. Going back to what Van said, it is an area event. We need support. We need to twist some arms, because that stadium is ours. That's Glendale's. It doesn't belong to Phoenix, Avondale, Peoria, or anybody else. That's Glendale property, and if they want to play, they need to pay.
Thank you, candidates. We'll begin the third question with Mr. Aldama. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry? Oh, I beg your pardon. Yes, I forgot my dear lady right here. Ms. Alvarez is next with that question. Shall I repeat it, or are you fine? Thank you.
I think you're all right. But the first thing that we need is we need a partnership. We have to be partners. And that is what's lacking with the Super Bowl. They're not happy with us. We have made them very unhappy because of the promises that we made and didn't keep. The other thing is the stadium itself belongs to the Sports Authority. So we're like in the middle of all this. The security, which is the most expensive, was a promise from the other council members. So we have to, this is why I say we need to renegotiate with all of them. We need to have a good partnership, and that will end all the problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the third question with Mr. Aldama. If elected, candidates, what will be your first priority?
Thank you very much. I was asked that question by the Glendale Star when interviewed not too long ago, and my first item on the agenda is to meet the voters and thank them so much for their trust in me. Secondly, I want to work on transparency. It's obvious that transparency is not the norm with the City of Glendale and our City Council, and I want to encourage us to be more transparent. It does need to be the norm. I want a city of Glendale where residents come into the dais or to the council chambers and start to praise the city of Glendale for the things we do, not for some of the mistakes we made. I want us to move forward, and I want to get a forward motion and momentum and get our citizens to trust us again and bring that transparency. Now, we'll work diligently to encourage transparency among all of us.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez?
Well, I want to thank the voters also when I get elected. I want to bring integrity and trust back. That's the first agenda. Bring that back to the city, okay, and to the council. Cooperate and collaborate with the council members and the city administrators. And there's ideas and solutions that I have to bring economical development back to the downtown Glendale, is to bring those ideas quickly. I'm a problem solver. I solve problems, and that's what I plan to do when I first get in office.
Thank you. Mr. Benjamin?
Day one, what I want to do is it's going to be a very difficult day, and that day is going to be creating a benchmark, figuring out exactly how much we are in debt, drawing the line of that's the basement. We do not go any further in debt, and use that as a benchmark for 4 years later to determine the success of the new council for bringing us out of the budget problems and moving forward. The other thing that I want to do is I think it's criminal that the current council and administration put the fire department and the police department on the chopping block. That's not fair to us as citizens here to have to worry about vital services, and I think it is even more unfair to those good folks that work diligently every day to protect and serve us to have to worry about their jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Patino?
First, I would definitely thank my constituents for getting me elected and getting me back to work. Most importantly, I would start looking at the budget. The budget is vital. That's going to determine everything in the city and their needs. Secondly, we need to make sure that our public safety is protected. Again, police and fire is first and foremost. All our services, water, sanitation, our streets. But most importantly, I want to be able to reach out to the community and have quarterly meetings with the community so that we can understand the concerns and issues that not only we're dealing with within our district, but within the city, the concerns, but also bringing viable construction infill projects within our district, and also bringing commercialized businesses so that we can get more tax revenue. But again, it would be first priority would be definitely the budget. Make sure that we can manage our money correctly.
Mr. Turner?
Thank you. The first and overriding priority is certainly the city's long-term financial stability. Without that stability, nothing else good is going to be able to be possible in Glendale. Right behind that comes the restoration of the quality of life that we've enjoyed forever here in Glendale. It's a high quality of life that's always brought good people and good businesses to Glendale. We need to get back to that. As I go door to door in my district, people are constantly bringing up issues with the quality of their streets, the short hours at the public library, the lack of recreation programs that we used to have in the past, the drop-off in parks maintenance, those kinds of issues that make people want to move here in the first place, as was raised earlier, and also stay here, raise their families, retire here, contribute back to the community. Thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Let's face it, day one, my biggest priority is probably going to be finding the keys to my office and the closest bathroom to it, okay? But beyond that, I'm concerned about our current, what I perceive to be a top-down model of government where our council or our staff decide on a direction and then we sell it to the citizenry. I think that there should be more citizen involvement right up front to where the citizens decide on a direction, and then as council and staff, we decide how to make that happen. I think that's the number one priority, and I think that's what is going to help our city become the happiest place in the world. If we want to be there, we have to take care of our own people. Thank you.
Thank you. One of the first things, actually, absolutely the first thing I would like to do is bring back the 5 minutes non-agenda citizens' comments. I believe that the citizens have every right to be heard in the council chambers. The council people are the voice of the citizens, and that is one of the first things I would like to move forward when I'm elected to the Cholla City Council, Glendale City Council in the Cholla District. The other issues, we are all aware of the budget, the financial true transparency. We have a real problem that hasn't been talked about very much, is that population in Glendale is decreasing. And the looming thing on the horizon for us, if we can't get the population to quit leaving Glendale because of the financial situation, we risk state shared revenue, which is going to be even a bigger problem than we already have. We've got to work on our image. We've got to be open to the public. We've got to listen to the citizens and represent what they want us to represent. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr.
Yes,
Theodore?
I also agree that we need to jump on the budget issues, because if we can't pay for things, we're out of business. Concurrently, I would form citizen alliances so I can find out what the people in my district are concerned about and encourage the other council members to go out into their districts and form those alliances as well. After all, it's not my opinion that is supposed to be running the city, but your opinion. You are the people that elected us. We are the people that need to do what you want done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the first thing that I think I would probably engage in is, and one thing I can absolutely guarantee, that all of us up here, with the exception of Norma being citizens, are not privy to the totality of the information that the councilmen have access to. So I suspect that I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time reading and catching up on the information that I really don't have right now. The second thing, though, is for me is that I plan on holding some district meetings where I can get out and meet the 40,000 people in the district that I allegedly represent and try to get their opinion of what's happening in the city and get their priorities. I believe that a councilman's first and foremost job is to represent the interests of and provide a voice for the people of that district. I have been to council meeting districts. It's like a pep rally. We did this and we did that. Never once did my councilman ever ask anybody in that audience, this is the problem, these are the proposed solutions, what do you think? Never once. I plan on interacting with the constituency on a more personal basis. I want to know what you think about these issues.
Thank you.
On day one, for me, I would make a presentation and a request to fellow council members, first to let them know I've been doing sounding boards through my district as I walk to get signatures, and I continue to campaign. So I have some unofficial surveys and results that I would share. I would also seek to find consensus with the council members so that we could come up with a plan of attack that we're all in agreement that would be highly prioritized for us. I would let you know that if you were to ask Chief Burdick or Chief Black, they would let you know that they have no stauncher supporter than me. I'm very big on quality of life and first responders, and one of my first orders as a business would be to find out any external ways of revenue raising to ensure those
Thank
two
you.
departments.
Thank you, Ms. Bertrand. Ms. Alvarez? Oh, excuse me. You had 15 seconds left. I was looking at the card incorrectly. Go ahead.
That's all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Alvarez?
We have an organizational chart. It's been, it's part of the charter. We need to follow that organizational chart. We have the taxpayers that provide the, the information, the needs. We have the city council, and then we have the staff and department, meaning administrators, and then departments. Right now, it's administration, departments, council, and then taxpayers. We were elected. We get paid. We're not doing it for free. So we need to have district meetings. We have to get the input. And if we don't, then we're not doing our job. That's the first thing, and I've been doing that, and I wish to continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sommer?
I think the first thing I would do is have to swallow my pride and realize that I don't know what I think I know. The second thing I think I need to do is realize I'm only one person out of 7. And I could have the best ideas in the world, but if I can't find consensus within the council, all of those ideas stop with me. So I need to start to find the way to build those consensus with other council members. And then the third thing I need to realize and start to work on is the Ocotillo District is very diverse. We have everything from the barrio all the way through historic homes, a downtown business community. We have all of those pieces, and there won't be one blanket that fixes it all. And so I need to look and find those informal leaders within those areas and let those people direct where we go. Those people in those areas know what's wrong and know how to fix it. Bud doesn't know how to do that. I need to listen to my constituents and realize that one size does not fit all in the Ocotillo District.
Thank you. The next question will begin with Mr. Hernandez. This next question is from the community. Candidates, and it's 2 parts. If you win and find we need to keep the sales tax, would you be willing to change your mind and vote for the tax? If your answer is no, what services for Glendale would you be willing to cut? Mr. Hernandez. Yes, and I can repeat that if you needed me to repeat it. If you win and find we need to keep the sales tax, would you be willing to change your mind and vote for the sales tax? If your answer is no, what services for Glendale would you be willing to cut?
Again, I will win, so that's the question I have to work on. The sales tax. Once I'm privy to all the information and the majority of the voters decide, yes, we must keep it, then the majority of the voters, I'll agree with the voters. Again, if I have to decide, I think if I would negotiate and not make it indefinite, maybe another 3 years, maybe another 4 years, but it definitely would have a sunset date on it. I don't believe in taxation forever. I said, I think the taxes now is a get out of jail card. That's what it was. So I would not cut services. We're down to the minimum. We're going to Circle K, buying a soda, and we're getting half a soda as far as services. So I would negotiate to just keep it for a few more years and then actually go over the city budget and cut what has to be
Thank
cut.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Benjamin?
Thank you. I oppose making the tax permanent, and I will continue to oppose making that particular tax permanent. Regardless of the budget, it was wrong the way that they did away with the sunset clause. It's not what us, the voters, voted on when that was put into place. And for them to change it in the way that they changed it is absolutely wrong. Now, that I'm opposed to the tax, the second part of the question is, what city services would I cut to make the budget? Well, it's not going to be putting the police department and the fire department and all those good people on the chopping block. That is absolutely the wrong thing to do, and it sends the wrong message to those employees and to future young people that aspire to be firemen and policemen.
Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. Mr. Patino?
That's a tough question, but I think I have a good answer. Bottom line, right now, the way the sales tax looks, yes, it was a 5-year deal. Can that be something we could cut today? Certainly, that could absolutely be cut, but you will be cutting a lot of services. And the services that you would probably have to cut would be every department at every level. And I don't think the citizens of Glendale or my district would want that. This issue came on the ballot 3 years ago, was voted 2-1 in support of raising the sales tax. Yes, there should be a sunset. And I don't agree keeping a lifetime tax on anything. But I also don't agree to undercut the citizens and let them know that, oh, by the way, your water services, by the way, your water bill is going to double next month, and it's going to double for the rest of the time because we have to make up the money. So I think us communicating with the citizens and letting them know, having them understand.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Sure.
Martino. Thank you. Mr. Turner.
Thank you. Well, let me go on record again right here letting you know that I actually support extending the sales tax. Glendale's long-term financial security is too important for protecting our quality of life, for attracting new business, and for keeping our bond interest rates low. A 70-cent tax on a $100 purchase is a very good value for the security that it provides for us as Glendale residents. As your council member, I will work with the other council members to establish benchmarks that can be reviewed on an annual basis so that we can whittle away at that tax increase as the local economy improves. We can grow our way out of this fiscal problem we're in. We can't cut our way out of it.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
I'm sorry, but this question presupposes that there are only two options. And I've been in front of the council many times saying there's a third. We can, as Bart so eloquently put it, grow our way out of it. By trying to grow our economy, by bringing business in, we can get rid of this tax. I don't think anybody expects a miracle in the city of Glendale, but if we can bring in enough businesses, we can start whittling away, as he put it, at the tax. We can take off 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. And when we get to 2017, 2018, 2019, and we've still got 0.2, 0.3 of that tax left, we can easily go to our constituents and say, hey, look, we're trying. We just need it a little longer. A few more years and we'll have us out of this mess. That's the reason we put the tax in the first place. It was a lifeline to give us a chance to find a way to get out of it. Let's get ourselves out of this problem by whittling away the tax cuts, or I'm sorry, the tax itself.
Thank you. Ms. Tomachoff?
Thank you. Whoops. I got this bar here. It's a little hard to sit right here. I understand the need. I understand the need for the sales tax, but I disagree with the method. And I think that the method that the council has used has put this in dire jeopardy, that the citizens are now not going to trust a review every year, because why would they believe that you're going to do what you say you're going to do when you said that the tax was for 5 years? It was a lifeline, as Randy said, to get through the next 5 years. The initial plan was a $5 million reduction every year for 5 years, and the tax would no longer be needed. Voters came out overwhelmingly, three-fourths, I believe, voted in favor of the temporary sales tax in 2012. I myself voted for the sales tax. I believe that you should trust the citizens that care about the community and public safety. Public safety is the primary responsibility of the city to the citizens. People want to make sure that they have public safety, and I believe that the citizens would step up and vote for the tax.
Thank you. Mr. DiCarlo? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Deerdorf.
Thank you. Well, obviously, we're not answering the question as it was posed, so if I may continue down that and state my position. I do not support extending the tax nor making it permanent at this time. The $30 million deficit is a 5-year cumulative figure, not an immediate reduction. From August 2012 until early 2013, management publicly presented 5-year budgets to eliminate the reliance on the extra tax gradually and with little impact. Anybody that picked up the paper today knows that we're growing. Everything's growing. The economy is in good shape. I work with investors, and that's the story. That's the truth. Things are improving. Council instead increased expenditures, more notably by approving the hockey deal, adding $9 million more than budgeted. It's too soon to declare hopelessness. Let's begin by using the previous balanced budget proposals before making Glendale non-competitive in regional economic development opportunities.
Thank you.
As I heard it, the first question was, A, would we vote for the tax? Is that right?
Yes.
My answer to that question is yes, I did vote for the tax as a temporary tax. Along with the other 40,000 people in my district, I voted for that tax.
Mr. DiCarlo, I'm going to stop just a second. I'm going to repeat the question because I answered that incorrectly. If you would win and find we need to keep the sales tax, would you be willing to change your mind and vote for the tax? If your answer is no, what services for Glendale would you be willing to cut?
Oh, okay, I understand. No, I would not have voted for the way the tax was extended, the way the council did it, okay? I think the question should have gone back to the people who authorized the tax in the first place. The voters voted for it as a temporary tax. The voters should have had the opportunity to vote for it, the removal of the sunset clause to make it a permanent tax, or in the alternative, I would have liked to see, if we're in the problem we're in, is to extend the sunset a year or two, okay? Still keeping it as a temporary tax, not making it permanent, but extending it a couple of years if we need the money. My other opinion is, what service would I cut if I said no? I don't think we can cut any service. Our police department is already down over 100 officers. Our fire department's down 30 officers. The whole city is down in people. You need people in order to provide services. And when you start cutting services, the citizens get a little bit aggravated, okay? So I don't think there's anywhere to cut the budget at this point in time. We need to get out from underneath the debt that's
Thank you.
eviscerating our general fund.
Thank you, Mr. DiCarlo. Mr. Petrone.
I was very active in working to get the original sales tax measure passed. I worked and advocated on behalf of it. I recognize now that what is being called permanent, I prefer to think of it more like an extension or a continuation. As I worked on it, and I remember talking with Councilmember Martinez, I said, won't it be great when we get off of this thing? And he said, you know what, I'd be honored to be the guy that said, hey, we're going to go ahead and rescind this. I would also like to defend the vice mayor. When she said that clause was put on there, she didn't mean it was put on there to fool anybody. She meant in their heart of hearts, that was their best hope, and they hoped that that would be. And they did not want to make it a permanent, forever type thing. So that's why the 5-year sunset was put on it. It wasn't put there as trickery. It was good and decent people making very good decisions with the best of intent, with the best of information they had at the time. I will vote yes again on it because I believe first responders
Mr.
are
Petrone.
key to our citizens.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Alvarez?
I am not for the sales tax extending. I think we made a promise, and we should keep it. And if the reason we're in this situation is because we didn't spend our money wisely, and we still continue to do that. So if you extend the tax, you're never going to get out of it because we still have 15 million to give to the Coyotes every year. We still get equipment that we don't need in council. You know, electric, more computers, more this. I think we're going to have to look and realize that we don't have the money. I don't agree, and I don't agree in cutting any services. I love the police and the fire, but I think all employees are important. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Somak?
Glendale will not tax its way into prosperity. No matter how many times we try, we will not. Business thrives when taxes are low, not when they're high. If we bring the tax rate down, we'll attract more business into Glendale. Not into just the Ocotillo district, but into Glendale as a whole. I was in a meeting the other night at the chamber where someone from Peoria who didn't know I was running for council said, I hope Glendale continues to do what they're doing because I use that as a marketing piece every time I talk to them. Don't go to Glendale, I can save you thousands of dollars over the year. They use that as a way to draw business away from us. We will not tax. What would I cut? I don't think I would look at cutting anything. I would look at what assets do we have that we can sell off? What contracts could we renegotiate? What ways can we bring more people into the area to bring the current sales tax that we do collect bring the revenues in from that? And if we have to have a tax piece, it needs to go back to the citizens to say yes or no so that the citizens made that decision, not the council.
Thank you. Mr. Aldama?
Thank you. Just to be clear, I do support the 710 sales tax extension. I don't want it to be permanent, but I think it's what we need right now to get us out of where we're at. The $27 million, we do need it. If we start to cut public safety, then we become a less safer city, and nobody wants to come to Glendale, and that's not what we want, and that's not what the residents have told me they want. I haven't heard a lot of what we're willing to cut. I'm not wanting to cut our city anymore. We lose more employees, we become more contract-based, and you go into a city building and you don't know anybody. The people that work there now are employees, work here, live here, and play here, and eat here, and they bring taxes back to us. I don't want to tax us forever, but it's what we need right now. It's where we need to get to. We need to get past this deficit we're in, and that's going to help us, the 710 sales tax. If it does, the measure get on the ballot, then I support that. And everyone in this room will have an opportunity to cast their vote, as I will too. But currently, I do support it to get us out of where we're at, and I'm not willing to cut any more employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hearn. Thank you. This next question will begin with, Mr. Hernandez, you had a chance to respond, I believe, to that one? That's right. I thought you did. Yes, I was just checking this time, folks. Mr. Benjamin, yes. No, you don't get a second go around. Mr. Benjamin, this question will start with you.
Thank you.
Candidates, to have the casino and not to have the casino has been an important council discussion. Are you for or against the casino, and why?
I am definitely against the casino. From the very beginning, the nation has purchased the property underneath false pretenses, underneath a Delaware corporation. The people feel that the casino is going to bring us lots of tax revenue. That's not going to happen. Other people say that the casino is going to bring us lots of jobs. Yes, it's going to bring jobs to the area, but the nation, if they have sovereignty over that property, their hiring process is that they're going to hire nation people first, other tribal nation people second, then open to everybody else. It's not the right thing. We don't need it. Retail development there, as City of Glendale mapped out in their master plan for that
Thank you, Mr.
land, is
Benjamin.
the best thing for there.
Mr.
Thank you.
Patino, thank you very much.
That casino should have been built in 2009. They should have broke ground on that casino. That, to me, it's a vital amenity to bring to the West Valley. Westgate is dying, and this is going to draw thousands upon thousands of people to the West Valley. And trust me, the overflow, even if it's a 10% overflow, that they shop in Glendale, that's 10% more than what we're making today. The casino, I support it 100%. That should have never been fought from day one. We've expended $15 million on legal lawsuits that we, the taxpayers, have paid and lost every lawsuit. And if you do get elected, who said he's never been sued? This young man? If you do get elected to public office, trust me, that record will go away. You will get sued because you'll be part of the city, and there are plenty of lawsuits. So, yes, I do support the casino. It should have been built there 2009.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you very much, Mr.
All right.
Patino. Mr. Turner.
Thank you. I do support the casino proposal, the casino resort proposal. We've already spent way too much money on attorney's fees. We need the jobs, both the construction jobs and the ongoing operations jobs that casino resort can bring. Now, whether it's native or non-native individuals who get the employment, the fact is they will in turn spend their paychecks in the local surrounding community, and we get that multiplier effect from increased economic development. That's the way our economy works. That's where growth comes from. That's how we dig our way out of this mess. Another very important thing to consider is, if not a casino, then what? If that land gets developed as a commercial enterprise, retail, shopping malls, those sorts of things, we'll get no revenue from that. By law, the cities and counties, local school districts do get a portion of the gaming revenue. If they go that route, not only do we get no sales tax revenue, it will rob development in the surrounding commercial zone around Glendale
Thank you
and
very
rob
much.
us of income from there as well.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Mr. Miller.
I would strongly like to come out in favor of the casino. Unfortunately, I can't. I want to believe there's 3,000 to 5,000 jobs that are going to be created and that businesses will relocate to the West Valley to be close to the casino. I want to believe it, I truly do. The casino is a very popular thing in the Beryl District, probably 80% in my poll that they want it. But I've visited Talking Stick Resort, Wild Horse Pass, Buc-ee's in Prescott, the Cliff Castle Casino in Camp Verde, and I've even gone to the Cocopah Casino in Yuma. And do you know what I see around every one of those casinos? Land. Lots and lots of empty land. Casinos, by their very nature, are hostile to businesses growing around them. A casino makes money and becomes profitable by putting you inside that building and keeping you there as long as your wallet's full. So I'm sorry, as popular as the casino may be, I just can't support it with the information we have at this time.
Thank you very much. Ms. Tomachoff?
I've been in support of, and one thing I'd like to clarify is everybody says casino. It's going to be a resort, it's going to be a hotel, it's going to be a spa, and it's also going to be a casino. It's not going to be simply just a casino. So I support a resort, I support a hotel, I support a spa, and I support the casino. The jobs are going to be not just the jobs of people that work at the casino. I read the 2013 National Indian Gaming Association report, and it shows nationwide that 222,000, direct Indian gaming jobs translate into 667,000 jobs. It's a job multiplier, as Bart said. You have to have jobs to create more jobs. There's going to be beverage vendors, food vendors, laundry people, all kinds of people that are supporting that casino, the infrastructure, and then the employees. They pay taxes, they spend money, that also creates more jobs. It's really going to help enhance our sports and entertainment district. It's going to really help us bring new business and
Thank
revenue
you.
to Glendale.
Thank you very much. Mr. Deerdorf?
Easy on that clock. I haven't started talking yet. All right. I agree with my fellow Marine, but I'd like to add, I will work within federal and state laws on this issue. At this specific time, action depends on whether the National Indian Gaming Commission will grant authority for a casino. According to Governor Brewer's 9/24/2010 letter to Ken Salazar, then Secretary of the Interior, Arizona must be consulted, and impact on the Arizona gaming compacts, which were accepted by the Department of the Interior, must be examined with all Arizona tribes. This week, hearings are being held by the Senate Indian Affairs Commission regarding the issue of off-reservation gaming in all states, not just Arizona. The issue requires consensus from all stakeholders. I'm concerned that Glendale council members' negotiations with the tribe seem to be being conducted by only a few.
Thank you. Mr. DiCarlo?
First of all, let me clarify one point. When I said I was never successfully sued, successfully is the operative word. I spent 30 years in government. Believe me, I've been sued. I oppose the casino vicariously. My main issue is the presence of an Indian reservation in the city of Glendale's footprint. And the issue is, two words, sovereign immunity. Okay, I believe there are going to be significant problems down the road dealing with the issue of sovereign immunity. Okay, for example, the city of Glendale just went through a reasonably long, protracted argument regarding the issue of billboards along interstate or along the 101 between Bell Road and 51st Avenue. The citizens were vehemently against that. A couple of the councilmen were supporting it. It ultimately got defeated. The Indian nation can put a sign on their property half the size of a football field, and no one other than the FAA has anything to say about it, and only because of height. Okay, that's an example. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's an example. There are a lot of issues that
Thank
will
you.
come up where
Thank you,
sovereign
Mr.
immunity
DiCarlo.
is going to be at the root.
Mr. Patron?
I made sure to watch C-SPAN yesterday, and I watched Ms. Enos of Gila and Mayor Wires and Chairman Norris speak. I also saw Mr. Washburn speak to the chairman, Mr. Tester. And there was, in my opinion, just from viewing it, there was an implicit understanding that the nation, the TO, stood in very good stead. And I'm going to refer to a comment my friend and council member Ian Hugh made a while back. You know, we spent around $4 or $5 million getting bad advice. He would like to know how much it costs to get good advice on this. And I think if anybody would have watched C-SPAN yesterday, you'd have got a pretty good opinion of where this is heading. And being that it's headed that way, that old saying, when the good Lord gives you lemons, let's make lemonade. Glendale can make some really good lemonade out of this deal. I can assure you of it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Petrone. Ms. Alvarez?
Well, I've always supported the casino. I've always supported because of the jobs it's going to bring at the beginning, which is construction. The other is the jobs in the casino itself. I have done a study on the employees that work at the other casinos, and we have very few natives working other than security. The others are not natives. And one of the things that the chairman said to the council at one time was they're working very hard for the casino so they can educate their children. So the people that work at the casino are the people that are, from the local area, and their kids are going to school.
Thank you very much. Mr. Zomak?
I am not anti-casino, but when I'm elected to this position, I will raise my hand and I will promise to defend the Constitution of Arizona and the laws of Arizona. And currently, within the laws of Arizona, there is a compact in place. It's not Bud's choice to decide I don't like that law, so therefore I'm going to ignore that law. I will raise my hand and promise to defend that. If, going through the legislative process and going through the federal government, that law is changed, then my duty as a council member will be to work that law. Again, not Bud's choice. There's many people in this country who take positions, political positions, only then to go in and say, that really doesn't apply to me. So am I anti-casino? No. But I am currently for the Arizona laws that I would swear to defend.
Thank you. Mr. Adama?
Thank you. Just to be clear, I am passionate and support the casino. Thus far, the federal government has not found the O'odham Nation to break any laws. I'm not for breaking laws, and they haven't broken any thus far. If we've been reading the paper, they've won every single lawsuit. But here's the reason why I support the casino. Can they help us with this sales tax that I just told you that I would support? Maybe they can end it any sooner. Maybe they can help with our debt. They have more money than we do. Can we ask them? Can we negotiate with them? How much money can you give us annually? In lieu of taxes, can you give us $1 million a year, whatever that number is? But I also support the partnerships and relationships they're going to create with our schools. And I know there's a separation between city and schools, but we need money in our schools as well. How much can we get from them? The jobs they're going to bring to our trades workers and our construction women and men, they need work. We all need work. And I believe they're going to be a great partnership to City of Glendale and to neighboring cities. And we're all going to come together and make it work. Thank you very much.
Mr. Hernandez?
I support the casino. I don't think they violated any federal or state pacts, especially the one in 1992. So if the casino is coming, let's not work with them, it's a partnership. Let's work with Maricopa Workforce Connection and get some people trained and make an agreement with the TO Nation to hire Glendale residents, a percentage. Also, bring some shuttles from the casino to Westgate. Like I said, 10% overfill, they'll be going. We need to provide transportation to Westgate from the casino. We need to work with them. If they're coming and if they're there, let's partner with them and get the best for the city.
Thank you very much. This next question will begin, I believe, yes, with Mr. Patino, yes. This next question is a community question from the community. It's for all of the candidates. The residence you live in, is it recorded with the Maricopa County Recorder's Office, and is it current? Mr. Patino.
One more
In other
time.
words, the district in which you live, is it your residence? And is it recorded with the Maricopa County Recorder's Office as your residence? And presently, do you live there? To paraphrase.
Yes. I'll actually give you my exact home address here in Glendale. It's 6033 West Sunnyside Drive. And as far as I know, my taxes are current. They do take it out of my mortgage payment, so if they haven't paid them, I haven't received a bill from Maricopa County, but yes. I've been in Glendale since 2005. I found a beautiful piece of property on an agricultural piece of property on an acre and a quarter. I absolutely love my home in Glendale, and that's where I plan to stay.
Thank you very much. Mr. Turner.
Thank you. As I've said before, I'm a Glendale native, a longtime resident. I've lived in several different locations inside the Beryl District itself. My current address, and it has been for I think about 8 years now, is 8217 North 57th Drive in Glendale. You can come by on the weekends and watch me mow the lawn. I'll even let you help if you want to. You can call me on the phone, 623-487-3808. My family owns a few pieces of real estate around the valley, but this is a family property that I'm in, been in a long time. I pay the mortgage on it. Taxes are current on it. I think we're okay there. It's a good thing. I love Glendale. I've been here a long time. No worries.
Thank you. Mr. Miller.
I'm going to give you the non-political answer. Yes.
Great. Ms. Tomachoff.
That's tough to follow, Randy. Also, yes, the county assessor and the county recorder knows where I live, and it's recorded in my name and my husband's name. And the Tomachoff family's been in Glendale since 1911. This is my home. Family heritage is all in Glendale. My son's family heritage, they're hardworking people who care about this community, and I want to stay here and help right the ship so we can correct what mistakes that have been made. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I concur again, yes. But I must say that my property is registered in the name of my revocable living trust, the Deerdorf Trust, dated 1992. A revocable living trust is an entity, is not a separate entity. It's just a different way of holding title to property.
Mr. DiCarlo.
Could you read the question again, please?
Yes, sir. The residence you live in, is it recorded with the Maricopa County Recorder's Office, and is it current?
Yes and yes. But I think the question that they really want to know is my name on it? And with my particular property, I must give a political response. The house that we live in was given to my wife by her parents. As a result, it's titled in her name as her own separate property. But I've been living there, and my clothes are there, so I think that's where I live. Unless I got moved out here recently, I don't know.
Thank you. Mr. Petrone?
Mine would be yes and yes.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Alvarez?
I've lived in the same home. It's under our name, my husband and I, for 43 years. But I've lived in the Ocotillo district all my life. And my taxes are paid. Thank you.
7 years ago, I purchased a historic home 4 blocks up the road. I live in the very heart of Catlin Court, which is in the Ocotillo district. I rehabbed that home and chose to make it my home. I've lived in Glendale since my dad retired from the Navy and moved as far away from the water as he could get, and he picked the desert, and my parents are both back here as well. So yes, the taxes are paid, the house is in my name, and I live in the Ocotillo district.
Thank you. I own a home in Glendale, and it is in my name with the recorder. I also rent a home in the Ocotillo district. That obviously is not my name. That is in the homeowner's name. But obviously, like many others rent homes, I rent home in Ocotillo district where I choose to remain. Lived in Ocotillo district 35 years, almost my entire life, and I'm passionate about it. But I do own a home in Glendale that's in my name. I also rent one. Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, taxes are paid up, but the home is under my sister-in-law and my wife's name, so I'm not in there just like him. I hope I'm still there. So yes and yes.
Thank you.
Yes, my home is properly recorded. I am the owner. I have lived there for 23 years, and I do personally pay my taxes annually, usually the last day of the year. Thank you.
Thank you all for your responses. The next question will begin with Mr. Turner. Candidates, what is your district's greatest strength?
We've got a lot of great things in the Beryl District. We've got Glendale Community College. We've got Saguaro Ranch Park, which I had more than just a little bit to do with in the planning of that when I was the director or the chairman of the Parks and Recreation Commission years ago when it was being planned out. We've got Glen Lakes Golf Course. We've got a few neighborhood shopping centers in our district that are great as well. But really, the best asset we've got in our district are the people that live there. I've met so many wonderful people going door to door in Glendale meeting voters. One family in particular sticks out. Great family. They have a couple of disabled children, and the dad is building like a 40-foot pirate ship in the backyard for his kids. He's run it through the city planning department, and it's got its building permits. The neighbors are cool with it. It looks to me like he's almost finished, and he was out there building it the day I went by and asked for his signature on my nomination petition. There's not one on there that I'm any more proud of than his and his wife. So the best asset in our district is our
Thank
people.
you. Thank you, Mr. Turner.
Well, gee, Bart, you didn't leave a whole lot of places for me to bring up, so I'll say that one of the greatest assets in the Beryl District, and they're here today, Larry Flato and his wife Kathy, my good friend Allie Helm, what I'm getting at is our people in the Beryl District are probably our greatest asset. The fact that they live where they do, they haven't moved north to go up into where all the shopping is and all the brand new buildings and the nice roads. They've stayed right where they're at. They've stayed in our little bed and breakfast area of the city of Glendale, and they're happy there. For the most part, they'd like a few new roads, they'd like a few new sidewalks, they'd like some things taken care of, and they want to see more police officers running around their district. Other than that, our Beryl District people are happy, and I feel that they are our strongest asset.
Thank you. Ms. Tomachoff?
I'm in the Cholla District. Cholla District has a lot of wonderful amenities, but the most important thing in the community, in any community, I believe, is the citizens. And I believe a council person's job is really primarily just to be the voice for the citizens that you represent. By taking the time to go out, being accessible, walking neighborhoods, knocking on doors, talking to people, attending homeowners meetings, making yourself available to understand the concerns of the citizens and take those concerns and their representation back to City Hall. Be truthful, be honest, and have integrity. But the citizens, primarily, your job is to represent the citizens of your community. Thank you.
Here, here. That's what we're here for, to represent the citizens of our community. As a marathon runner, I have the privilege of being out early in the morning. I don't run in the sun. And I get to visit with a lot of other people who share my love of the great outdoors. And I get to visit with those people about what's important to them, particularly now that I'm running for council. So yes, it's the people. It's the people that make it what it is.
I agree. I'm also running on the Cholla District. I agree. People are what makes a community, not brick and mortar. Without the individual and collective personalities of its residents, there really isn't much there. The Cholla District is primarily a bedroom community. We don't have any industry. We don't have any large commercial developments. So I would say that the biggest asset of our community is the peace and quiet. It's a very nice community. It's clean. It's neat. It's well taken care of, and I just enjoy living there, and I think that the peace and quiet is our biggest asset.
Thank you.
Cholla District. And I tell you, if you want to get a tone or tenor of a neighborhood, knock on their door at 5:30 with a nominating petition. I cannot believe how gracious and kind So many of our citizens were. We had our share of grumps, but I think every place does. But for the most part, you would never meet more gracious, kind, polite people that wanted to help you. And I came away, I've always loved Troy. I've been there forever, raised my kids there. I have a real tie to it. I'm kind of a sentimental person. We've had family members pass away that live there. And you just kind of have this generational thing and this feeling and this really warm heartbeat you have for your community. But when you go out and you meet these guys and these ladies, and they're so kind to you and so gracious, and all they want is for their city to be a safe and beautiful place to live. And that's what I think is what this is all about, which I think everybody's been trying to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Alvarez?
Well, we have wonderful people in Ocotillo District. We have a lot of diversity, but we also have a lot of needs. I think that every neighborhood has bad streets, but I think we have the worst. We don't have the services that we need in Ocotillo. And I know we can work to get them back. But the people, they're not constant complainers. They deal with it, and they're just coming up with ideas all the time. They volunteer. We have the best and the most volunteers in the Ocotillo District. So I love that district because of its people. Thank you.
I think the strength of the Ocotillo District is, first of all, we don't have grumps in our district, all of our districts. So come and visit. We have no grumps. But I think it's its heritage. It's where it started. Glendale began in this area and moved out. So all of the history comes from the Ocotillo District. My boys, actually young men now, their family is from the Ocotillo District. The Medinas, the Apodacas, the Bustos, they're all from this area. It's where we grew up, where we live. The strength is its heritage. Everything, again, we say from the barrio to the historic to the business. We have it all in the Ocotillo District. We just need to bring us together.
Thank you so much. Having spent most of my life in Ocotillo District, I'm extremely proud of it, as everybody else is. One of our greatest strengths is our elderly who built Glendale, who spent 80 years here, 90 years here to build Glendale what it is today. And we owe it to them to continue to build a prosperous Glendale and Ocotillo District. It's a historical place. It's a beautiful place. Our citizens and our business owners are our greatest assets. We work for them, and as a council member, I'll ensure to support them and work for them. You guys will hold me accountable. But our greatest strengths are some of those that I just shared with you, those folks in this room and outside of this room who built Glendale, and where I'm really passionate about that. And all the schools that we have in the Ocotillo District. We have tons of schools. Serving on the school board, it's a privilege and a pleasure to serve our community. But we have tons of schools here, and there's great partnerships that we need to build and continue building, and some that are already in place now. So a lot of the historical businesses and areas of Glendale is a great strength of ours. Thank you.
Thank you.
I take pride in downtown Glendale, from going to school at Landmark to Unit 2 to Unit 3 to working at my grandma's restaurant, Lily's Cafe, from opening the Boys Club on Northview when I was 10 years old, cutting a ribbon with the mayor. The people and the diversity in Ocotillo District is great. And I welcome and I wish your support to be the next council member.
Could you remind us all of the question?
Yes. And of course, I put that away. What is your district's greatest strength?
I feel that our greatest strength is the potential in the people who live in the Beryl District. Yes, we have a lot of great things, Glendale Community College, Saguaro Ranch, Home Depot. I mean, we have a lot of great things there, but I think the best thing is the potential of the people that live there. It was mentioned up here about complaints. I think complaints is nothing more than a problem or an issue that has yet to be discovered or adjusted. And I think we need to voice our opinions to city government, and I will be a glad listener to hear any of these things from our citizens that live in the Beryl District to help move things forward, to improve services, quality of life there. And if you came knocking at my door at 5:30 in the morning,
Thank you, Mr.
I
Benjamin.
would not be a happy camper.
Thank you very much.
I just want to point out that I think this is the first time I've ever been to any candidate forum that every single candidate agreed on one issue, that the people of Glendale and every district and in Ocotillo, Beryl, and Choya, that we all agree we have good people that live around us, and we're proud to be the representative. So.
Thank you very much. Well, we have more questions, but due to time limitations, we are now going to be moving on to the 1-minute closing statements. And we're going to be starting in reverse order with Mr. Petrone coming my way. And Mr. Petrone, if you will go ahead and begin. Yes, you do. Thank you.
In summation, I'll just say I'm very impressed with everybody up here. I think Glendale's futures, I've always felt very confident in our future. And I think hearing the candidates speak tonight, I think you can see we've got a pretty good field to choose from. And as I kid my friend Lauren often, you know, we really are on the same team. We just both want to be shortstop. So you guys are going to have to decide which one of us gets to start. But I can tell you, when this is all said and done, I'll have 3 friends that I probably didn't know too well before that I know a lot better now. And I think we all want the same thing for our city. And I think we may have different ways of getting there, but I think we all want to end up at the same place. And I'm confident in our future. I'm bullish on Glendale. And I'll appreciate any support I can get from anybody from Choya District or thereon afterwards. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Women's Club for providing the opportunity for us to speak to the public and state our views. And it's not easy to do that when you're running for a council seat because of this small footprint of voters. There's not a lot of opportunities like this, so I thank you very much. In closing, I'd like to say that in addition to the 30 years of experience I have in government from a bottom-up view, which I feel makes me really, really qualified to do things from the top-down view, okay, there's a few things the voters should know about me. Number one, I favor a conservative approach to government, okay? Police and fire, for me, are top priority. I support a government that operates in sunshine, not in the darkness and shadows of executive sessions. I oppose debt of any kind unless it's absolutely necessary, and then only to support the efforts of police, fire, sewer, water, street sanitation, libraries, and parks. I oppose taxpayer money being used to support private business, including sports venues. I believe a council member should represent the interests and provide a voice for his district,
Mr. Carlo,
not
thank
advances.
you. I'm sorry, your time is up. I apologize.
You're done, my friend.
He did warn me. Mr. Deerdorf.
Yes, at the risk of being redundant, I'm the person that has the credentials to understand the complex issues dealing with financial contracts and the ethics involved in negotiating those contracts. As was mentioned earlier, my credentials require that I have approximately 60 hours of continuing education every year. Several of those hours of continuing education are about ethics. You may say, well, why do you have to have continued reminder of ethics? Well, human beings apparently have a failing when it comes to ethical issues. So the licenses that I obtain have that requirement of continuing ethics in the particular areas that we're speaking about. So in my particular instance, where it's financial and contracts and tax issues, that's where my continuing education lies at. And Glendale needs that expertise at this point. I am the right person at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tomachoff?
I believe my background in banking as a person who made loan decisions based on looking at information, deciding whether that made good sense or not, was too much of a risk for the borrower or a good risk for the bank. Also, being a real estate professional, I every day, start with people on two different sides of an issue, and work to get people on the same page. So you can't get anything done if you can't get people on the same page. It's impossible to tell you everything you'd like to know about me in 60 seconds. I invite you to go to electlaurentomachop.com. I've been blogging. It's very easy to see where I stand on all of the issues. electlaurentomachop.com. I'd like to be the Cholla councilperson. I'd like to be a new voice for Glendale. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Miller?
I won't make the statement that I'll only run for office once, but I also won't allow any hope of reelection to taint any decision I may make while I'm in office. I am qualified. I've spent 20 years in the Marine Corps. That gives me a nice thick skin, so go ahead and throw those darts at me. I've run my own business in Glendale for 14 years. It's very successful. I run a computer business. I ran it as a second business for 12 years in Yuma, Arizona, while I was still on active duty. So I'm able to put business and other work together, so that gives me the ability to run on the council as well as manage my own affairs. So all I'm asking for now is your permission to serve. Thank you.
Mr. Turner?
Thank you, and thank you to the Women's Club for hosting this forum again today. Quite a valuable contribution you make to our community. Now, folks, it's time for us to get back to the basics. We need to quit wasting money on lawsuits and tax giveaways. We need to restore our long-term financial security so that we can have that quality of life that's always brought good people, good businesses to Glendale. I think this election is really about three big things: experience, education, and, in a way, the endorsements. I hope you'll all agree that my 40 years of community service here in Glendale, not just as belonging to organizations, but as a leader in those organizations, helps give me that experience. I also have practical business experience to go along with that as well. I have an education, I think, that's directly on point. And if you'll go to my website, bartknowsglendale.com, you'll be able to see my endorsements and where they come from, and that they're really on point too, from people who have been responsible for Glendale's quality of life for many years. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Patino?
I want to start off by thanking, first and foremost, all my supporters who've come out, helped out. I've been very blessed and fortunate to have family, my mom, my brother, my beautiful 5-year-old daughter who's sitting over here very patiently, thank goodness. And but we have worked very hard on this campaign. My design team that helped me design those great signs, the blue round signs that you see on the streets. I want to thank especially the Arizona Police Officers Association for standing behind me and supporting me. I ask you to pick up a pamphlet on your way out, votepatino.com. With my experience on council, prior experience on council, I'll know how to get to work from day one and work efficiently with the other council members and mayor. And I will have an open door policy.
Thank you. Mr. Benjamin?
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and all. I disagree with the three main issues that with our community. The three main issues are the budget, the casino, and all this money that we're spending on the sports. I'm the person that is going to bring the council back to focusing on neighborhoods, infrastructure, and all of us people that live here, regardless of whether you live in the Beryl District or the Cholla District. It doesn't matter. I'm here for all of Glendale, and we need to stop wasting money, yes, on lawsuits for against the Native Americans and their casino, on major sports, and we can't afford to be doing more of that. I'm John Benjamin. I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez?
I have a website, elect Michael Hernandez for Ocotillo Council. I have ideas and solutions. You're more than welcome to look. I also have an email. I have some brochures in the back. I have ideas and solutions for Ocotillo and the city of Glendale. I appreciate that you look at my website and vote for me, basically. We have a lot of problems, Taxes is one that we need to stop. We need to get it stable. We need to bring integrity and pride and honesty back to city government, basically.
Thank you. Mr. Aldama.
First, I want to thank my opponents who are sitting with me, and especially our incumbent. Thank you so much for being here. As a lifelong resident of Glendale, I have been witness to the positive ongoing growth of our city and privileged to be part of a community of passionate residents who call Glendale home. As your council member, transparency and fiscal responsibility will be a priority and the norm. I will be a champion for public safety because citizens deserve safe and secure neighborhoods, as do our business community and those who come to visit the city of Glendale. Maintaining our parks, streets, utility systems, and libraries are important because they add quality of life. As your city council member, I will be accessible and responsive to residents and business community members alike. The voters and residents I have spoken with and more importantly, listened to over the last 4 years, and as I prepared for this election, have said that is what they expect from their council member, simply representation. Promises by candidates are easy to make. When I'm elected, I expect the voters and residents of Ocotillo District and of our community to hold me accountable. You are the boss. My name is Jamie Aldama, and
Thank
I
you.
hope for your vote and your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aldama. Mr. Zomok.
Again, thank you for hosting this, and Linda, you are the best timekeeper I think I've ever seen. Boy, they could have used that at the governor's forum the other day. My name is Bud Zomok, again, running for Ocotillo District. I hope in this few minutes that you got to meet each one of us and that you got to hear a little bit of us. What you hear from me is passion. This is my home. I was a business owner. I own a home in the downtown area, business owner in the downtown area, and my children grew up, went to school at OPH. This is my home. Please, if I had to put one thing out to you to do for a final closing, is to get out and vote. Last time it was just a little bit above 11% that actually voted in this district. If you don't vote, you don't have a voice. So get out and vote and tell your neighbors to vote. If you want to see more on my positions and my stances, budforglendale.com, and I look forward to your vote and serving you in the Ocotillo District.
Thank you. Ms. Alvarez.
I have had a lot of experience, over 30 years with the city of Glendale and the 4 years with the council. I'm not going to change. So I'm going to remain with the same issues. I know that I said that I was not going to run another term, but I saw so many problems that I needed for the public to know that was happening in the council. And they're still there, and I intend to expose and to correct, not just expose. We need people to correct, but if they don't know, they wouldn't be able to correct. I apologize to you. I'm not able to stand like the others, and I have a handicap, but that handicap did not stop me from doing my job. So I hope that you vote for me in this election. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alvarez. With the closing statements complete, this brings us to the end of the forum. The GFWC Glendale Women's Club want to thank the community for coming and sharing their, thank the candidates for coming and sharing their viewpoints. And also, we want to thank you, the community, for coming and participating in this event for us. You know, folks, the right to vote means the ability to choose elected officials among a wide range of candidates with various viewpoints. Remember to exercise your right to vote in the primary, August 26th. Let's give these candidates a big round of applause. Thank you for coming. Thank you all very much, and I just want to real quickly thank my members for coming, Betty Sharp, Ian Hugh, Yvonne Kanak, and also Channel 11 and their staff. They've been wonderful, and we appreciate all of you coming. Thank you very much.